Hey everybody, it's your girl BondyBlue, and I am here to announce that I am teaming up with Reset by Design Wellness, a travel and wellness brand that focuses on empowering Black women like you and I, girl. And I am so excited because I have been wanting to go to Africa for forever, and I am finally getting that opportunity with this upcoming Heritage and Reset Wellness Retreat in Ghana. It's going down, y'all, in November 1st through the 9th, 9 days, 8 nights. It's going to be 2 different locations when we're on this trip. This is all inclusive. It's going to come with so many benefits, including an African ancestry test. There's going to be cooking classes, a boat cruise. There's going to be an opportunity to engage, to rejuvenate, to connect with one another, to connect with our ancestors. I am so excited about this, and I'm even more excited that some of my members will be coming along and we can experience Africa together, because this will be my first time. So I am so excited about this. I can't wait to go, and I hope that you guys will sign up. The link is down below in the description box. Don't worry, girl, I will be reminding y'all about this, so y'all might get tired of me talking about it, but that's okay, because it is important for us to all travel and have these amazing experiences, and some of them, girl, we need to have together. So go ahead down below in the description box, book it. Come on in, come on in, come on in, not come on in, not come. Sorry, y'all know I'm weird, whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Daddy's little girl, but not the one that Daddy knew. Daddy never had a clue. That's what his little girl would do. A drifter, swifter, open up to get with ya. What's up, y'all? There we go. That's the one I wanted. Hi. Hey, everybody, I'm back. I'm back for another Now That We're Grown. Just another girl on the I.R.T. Girl, listen, this is an oldie but goodie for real. I have loved this movie since back in a day, world. It has so okay. I can't wait to get into it. Child, I'm sorry, y'all. It's still tickling me how mad people are about the title of my video. I'm unsubscribing from you, Bondi. I can't believe you. Y'all selective outrage be so potent. I'm sorry. It's just cause like I don't, like it's different if you actually listen to what I said, but they ain't listen to nothing I said, child. He got a Jeep. Okay, listen. Y'all ready? Okay. So y'all, Just Another Girl on the I.R.T. is about a girl that gets pregnant and throws her baby in a trash can. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this was like really prevalent in the 90s with girls getting pregnant and doing crazy things with the babies. Because I definitely knew a girl in high school that threw her baby in a lake. Okay? I think that girl might still be in jail. I'm not sure. Okay? But yes, now that we're grown, let's go ahead and get into Just Another Girl on the I.R.T. So she was very book smart. I still don't know what the I.R.T. stands for. I think it's the transit system. It's the transit system, because that's the train. She was always catching the train everywhere. Like the first one, y'all gotta stop throwing out all of the y'all gotta stop throwing them out before I get to them. Now I'm tickled. Okay, so she was always on the train, girl. Our girl was always on the train. Okay, that's how she got by. Okay, work, school, home, the train. Hey, Black Regina George, thank you for the super chat. Ready for this review in OFLP tonight? Yes, thank you so much. I am so excited about the 100K, the plaque, and us doing OLFP tonight because I miss them so much. Okay, yes, make sure y'all check out my What's Love Got to Do With It Now That We're Grown. There is a whole playlist Yes, Interborough Rapid Transit. Come through and let us know what it mean, girl. Interborough. That means amongst the boroughs in New York. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it, girl. All right. I gotta cover y'all up so I can focus. So y'all, the beginning of the movie, we see Ty holding the baby in a garbage bag. And it's in the middle of the night, and we see him kind of like looking at the bag and holding it. We hear the baby kind of crying or goo-gooing or whatever. Child, y'all know they playing that same, baby track that they play on the Aaliyah song. You know. And so he puts the baby near the trash cans and walks away. Okay? And then I think a football or a basketball was being played with by some kids outside. I was like, how late is it for these kids to be outside playing with a ball? But when a little kid runs by the trash and sees, the baby inside, the little kid go run for help. And that's where, it comes back to how we started. It's in my life, and I'm just all right. It's just my life, and I'm just all right. It's hella hard to find the music from this movie. That's really annoying. Like, there's one song on here that's one of my favorite songs. Okay, fuck you think this is? We want money. Okay, listen, that's my shit. Anyway, y'all. Okay, what was that? The BWAs, the bitches with attitude. Yes. Okay. I need money. Catch the meaning. I see him. His pockets bulging. His money out indulging. Stop. Pull over, brother. You forgot the Reds do sucker. Yeah. Okay. Listen, have y'all seen that video? Go look up that video because it's a whole bunch of black single mothers in that video. Y'all sitting up here mad at women for now being worried about these niggas' money exclusively. But it's because they feel like they ain't gonna be able to hold you down anyway. The girls don't feel like they gonna be able to keep you niggas anyway. So they might as well get what they can get out of y'all while they can get it, because they ain't gonna be able to keep y'all. That's the mindset. That was the mindset, especially at this time. This is like 80s, 90s, right? So this is the mindset of the young women that have been raised in households where the daddy went for some bread and never came back. And me and mama had to move to the projects and struggle and shit. Okay? But anyway, y'all, we hear Chantel saying that we might read about this in the papers and think someone was real bugged out or on crack. But she gonna tell us the real story, because y'all know her accent was hella thick. And then we see Chantel on the train, okay, flirting with a cute boy named Jerry. At first, she was giving him like a little attitude. Oh, yeah, like, what's your name, Jerry? Oh, all right. Like Tom and Jerry. He was like, no, okay, listen. And then he was like, I'm a model. And she was like, oh, yeah, you a model? He was like, yeah, I got a car and everything. She was like, well, all right, well, nice to meet you. My name is Chantel. And it's just like bucked up because the nigga got a car. But I'm like, but y'all both on a train right now. Why you gonna believe he got a car when y'all both on the train right now? Girl, you can't believe these. You can't believe these. Okay? Anyway, so then we see her on the train doing her homework. She was reading the newspaper over this rude white man's shoulder because he got real upset that she was reading the newspaper and then got up and walked off. She was like, okay. Then we see her on her way to work and she's getting catcalled. It's another thing we dealt with a lot growing up, being catcalled by drunk grown ass men that are allowed just to be placed about the community doing nothing. What's up, Redbone? She says, oh, you too cute to be a gentleman, right? Nah, yeah, whatever. Like, he could barely get off the floor. The nigga was laying on the ground. Like, why you trying to, what's up, Redbone? Laying on the ground. Y'all, that was something I noticed. I was like, everybody always want to talk shit about, like, how women aren't accountable and all of that. But I don't never see no women really laying around the neighborhood doing nothing. Like, even when they're crackheads, bitches be on the move, okay? We're not just laid out on the sidewalk drunk, okay? Anyway, because, something might happen to you, girl. Can't be out here like that. Before she goes into work, she explains that she's a Brooklyn girl. And everybody thinks that Brooklyn girls are really tough. And she said, I guess it's true, because I don't let nobody mess with me, okay? And I do what I want when I want, okay? Like, stupid ass, she bucked up. Look, Insolent teenagers, child. They be so gung-ho to prove something. Like, girl, calm down. You ain't got to prove nothing yet. We get it. Calm down. She goes into work. Okay, daps off the homegirl the tech. What's up, baby? Okay, look. Then the manager leaves her in charge. That should let us know that she good at her job on some, area. All right. And so then, she's ringing up the customers, and this white lady gonna come in the line asking her for an item that they don't have. She was looking for Brie. Nigel with the Brie. That's another movie reference. 10 Things I Hate About You. Don't worry about it. That's one of my faves too. But anyway, the white lady was looking for Brie. They ran out of Brie. She tells Chantel, well, I need for you to do is get on the phone, call another store, have them bring it here, and I'll send someone to pick it up in an hour. And it's just like, bitch, you making your own groceries. Girl, listen. Like, just really trying hard to come off like she got it like that. When at the end of the day, if you had people to just, come by the store and pick up some Brie for you, then guess what you can have them also do? Go to another store and get the Brie for you. Like, a lot of white people were still living like in their minds, like black people are just of service to you wherever you go. And that's why a lot of black people tend to be more rude now than they used to be, because I think a lot of us grew up seeing ourselves in constant servitude roles. No, I'm not giving up my chair at work no, I'm not. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. Fuck you. I'm a lady. I'm a woman. And in a normal instance, you would give me your chair as a man. Why am I giving up my chair for another man? Child, something that happened at the news station that triggered me one time. But, white women don't understand these things because people are always making allowances for them. So as black women, when we have like a bit of an attitude about like how we're treated sometimes, oh, you're being sensitive. And that's because we notice how people bend over backwards to move shit out of the way and be gentlemen to everybody but a black woman. And then black women and black people in general are expected to be of service. So this moment where I'm trying to work my little after school job because I'm trying to be a doctor one day, and I got this white lady that all she did was suck dick to have a comfortable life talking down to me about some fucking cheese. Yeah, it's like, your ancestors in the back of your head wanting you to pop off real bad. Chantel's attitude, while absolutely annoying, and we're going to get into it, is justifiable. And that's the thing I can't stand a lot of the times about like the black experience, is that we'll have these moments where we recognize that the black girls got bad attitudes and all of that. But then when you really look at their life, it's like she should have a bad attitude. How much y'all gonna put on the fucking 15-year-old? How much y'all gonna put on a 15-year-old? Like, the parents have terrible attitudes. The parents are arguing with each other all the time. And then when the young girl goes out into the world and has the same angry disposition, everybody's looking at her like, why aren't you acting like a lady? It's weird as fuck. Okay? So yeah, this white lady talking to her crazy behind some damn cheese. And Chantel says, listen, ma'am, I'm sorry, okay? She tries to keep it cute with her. I can't do that, all right? It'll be here on Tuesday, all right? I need it now. Like, girl, what? Chantel says, I'm sorry, it's not possible. And the woman says, these people. Girl, not these people. We ain't have to raise up on nobody about these people in a minute. Chantel, and that's the energy, like, these people. Black people always, not doing their jobs and being difficult just because I want someone to wait on me like I'm fucking Queen, Cleopatra or somebody. Like, girl, what? Chantel picks up a bottle of virgin olive oil and says, oh, we need a price check on this virgin olive oil. I wonder why they call it virgin. And then the white woman, well, when I went to Italy, and starts to explain, Chantel stops her and says, girl, why am I asking you? You don't know nothing about being no virgin, do you, Shaw? And her and the tech giggle and make the white woman feel, like shit. And she was about to say something, and she interrupts her. Chantel interrupts her and says, check this out. Your old man, he comes into the store all the time, and he's banging some girl who's half your age. Tisk. Definitely taking the shit a bit far. Either way, white lady goes to look for a manager. Chantel says, good search. All right. And she also clocks that the lady paid so much money for the groceries. She said, my parents don't even make what she paid for the groceries in a week. Both of her parents working aren't making in a week what this lady just paid for groceries in the 90s. That's insane. That's insane, y'all. Okay? I'm just saying. Like how much money? Like, what are you making? $7 an hour or some shit like that? Like, what is that? Oh my God, y'all was really out here making it hard for black people to do anything. Y'all was really making it hard. Chantel says she got in trouble and had to stack boxes once the manager came back because I guess that white lady waited around to complain about her. Chantel and the Tet walk home, and Chantel says people look at her and her homegirls on the train bugging out, and people, think that they're just some street girls with no future, because she says, we just be having a good time because it don't matter because it don't, acting like it don't matter because it don't. And it's like, honestly, there's some truth to it and there's some not some truth to it. So here's the thing. When you actually see Chantel and her homegirls like running through the streets of the neighborhood and all of that, they really are like children just running around carefree, having a good time. And they really should be able to do that. But because they're black girls, they have to handle themselves a certain way or they'll be looked at a certain way. It is no different than the way y'all have to teach young black men to be aware of how they act so that people don't, take advantage of them being, young and black. Don't be aggressive. Don't act a certain way. Like the girls have to do the same thing. Black girls have to do the same, overcorrection of themselves out in public so that people don't judge them harshly. It's just a fact of the situation. The white girls can be on the train giggling. Oh my God. The white boys can be being assholes and we'll just, they're just kids being kids. The black kids do it and that they're the ignorant, loud girls that are obnoxious and y'all can handle them any kind of way. The black boys are aggressive. We're scared, so you can handle them any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the vibe that I get from the experience of being like the young black girl growing up in the inner city, trying to figure your life out, trying to figure out who you are. And it's like you can't even really figure it out completely because everybody's already judging you as if you're an adult. So she says they be bugging when they find out how smart she really is. I used to also get that feeling. The feeling of knowing that people are underestimating you. And then when you really start to talk, it kind of like is shocking to them. I have often in my life shocked people with both how fair I am and also how smart I am. People like to assume things, about your personality when you are carefree. Like they really do. They run into one of their homegirls, Denicia. Denicia just had a baby. So here's the moment where we get the foreshadowing, okay? Because most good movies back in the day had the same writing style of a good book or a good story. You need your beginning, middle, and your climax. All of those different components to make the story happen. But especially you need the foreshadowing of things to come. And the first thing, them run into Denicia on a train. Girl, Denicia ain't been to school since she had her baby. Baby's brand new. And Denicia just explains to us what her life has been like since she had the baby. So apparently she was living with her dad before, daddy's little girl. And she gets pregnant. Daddy has a girlfriend. She gets into a fight with the girlfriend. Now she's staying in the projects with her mother. And this is something I noticed like a lot in Black people's family dynamics during a certain time period when a lot of the men would leave the Black women for whatever reason because of the way society is built. All these Black men, because whatever stressors they have as Black men, it makes them more susceptible to leave responsibility and run away from responsibility in one household, right? So you leave this household, but you leave them struggling because we still live in a patriarchy. And we live in a system where at this time, most women aren't making the same amount of money as their husbands. They're not expected to, and they're not legally allowed to. Like, everybody acts like, we didn't have like a whole fucking, era of time where women couldn't make as much money. They couldn't get certain jobs. They couldn't get certain education. People didn't even think it was important to send their girl children to school at a certain point. And all the women could do at a certain time is marry well. And they do that. And then these men decide they don't want to be married to them anymore. And then it leaves them having to stay in the fucking projects. Now the kids are mad at the mom because her existence is not as good as the man's, but that's the way it's set up. It's not set up for her to be able to make the same amount of money and take care of herself in the same manner, which is why a lot of us have always had the mindset to take care of ourselves, because we saw what that did to women back in the day over and over and over again. So now Denicia is staying at home with her mom. And ain't that some shit? The dad, as soon as things get tough, you kick your daughter out so she can go and stay with her mom, even though you probably have a more comfortable home. You probably have more to offer. But because it's too much for you to deal with and she's made a mistake as a teenager, now you're going to send her back to her mom's house, and her mom lives in a project. So her mom already struggling. So now you didn't put Denicia and a new baby on the mom that's not even doing as well as you. Denicia also talked about how she almost died during childbirth, how she threw up and shit on herself the whole damn time. They was really trying to kick the, the logistics to you. Okay? They tell her about this party because at the end of the day, they don't have these problems. So they don't really care. They listening to it, but they don't really care like that. Who is it? Lavonica having a party this weekend, and they like, you should come to the party. And she's like, I can't leave the baby with my mom again. And they was like, come on, girl, you got to come out. And she was like, all right, I'll ask her. I'll see what she says. Right. They also have a moment where they sitting there talking. So the train doors are about to close. They hurry up and, jump in front of the door so she can get out with the baby. But then it's, you stupid fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? All of this screaming and howling and cursing at the conductor because they were about to close the fucking automatic doors. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of aggression and a lot of cursing people out and all of that shit. And I'm like, I think it's because we get talked too crazy at home. We listen to our moms get talked too crazy at home. And so our response when we're out in the street, when we can, is to get that same aggression that we see in our households, to get it off of our chests in the world. And that's why we show up a certain way in the world, because usually a lot of us are either seeing that aggression in our households or experiencing it, and in some way not really having a full voice in those spaces. So when we get out into the world, it's like you have to be able to be yourself. And a lot of the times being yourself is some aggressive young woman because you're growing up in a household with aggressive parents. And your parents are aggressive because the world is fucked up and imbalanced and not fair. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a whole bunch of circumstances, like a lot of the times out of your control. And that's why it's so important to try to learn how to control your mind, so that when life is getting hard on you like that, you can keep some type of balance and find a way to get out of it. Because I think what happens is that people get piled on. You know what I'm saying? Like the family dynamic, life, being black, staying in the hood, being poor, not having enough education. You know what I'm saying? Coming from families that, couldn't afford to give you a good education. At one point, some of these black people weren't even allowed to go to certain schools. So you're coming off of like this extreme level of poverty and racism. And there's a lot of anger with these men that know it's their responsibility to take care of their families and feel that there's something stopping them on every front. And all they know how to do is be mad about it. All they know how to do is be mad about it. You know what I'm saying? So they're mad about it. Then, in fact, the children are now angry and mad. And then they go out into the world and then they're angry and mad. Everybody's, you know what I'm saying? So it's this like really bad cycle. That's why it's like so important to like work on your mindset and work on your energy and staying balanced and not letting the world like affect you in that manner as much as you can. Like staying, because I feel like people try to plant roots so deeply in ground that is unstable and it causes all of this ruckus. But if you can try to stay a little bit more limber about your expectations in life, then you can stay a little bit more balanced when things start to go crazy. And I feel like back in the day, black people just really didn't have the space for that. They didn't have the space or the allowance to figure out up here. And that's really what they needed to do. You know what I'm saying? So like you're in survival mode. Everybody's in survival mode and expecting people to be all like calm and nice and sweet. You know, it's bullshit. So when they sit down on the train, the tech asks if Chantel thinks Denicia is coming back to school. And Chantel says, nah, it's a dead issue. She not coming back. And it's because usually the girls that got pregnant back in the day did not go back to school once they had the babies. They didn't have time. They felt like it wasn't as important in that moment. School is fucking boring, and like a lot of time they're not teaching you shit that you really need to know. You're really only getting a diploma so that you can get better jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really the only reason people had to finish school back in the day, because a lot of them couldn't afford and didn't have the access to go to a college. So it was really just about getting a diploma so that you can get some good service job, some good city job, something that comes along with some benefits. Like that was really the only point to that. And I think a lot of the girls felt like, oh, I'll be able to get those jobs anyway. Like I don't need to, finish school for those jobs. But a lot of the times that's how they will hold people back. Over time, I think they've continued to move the goalposts. Back in the day, you just needed your high school diploma. Now you need to have gone to college. And they know that a lot of times people don't finish because it costs so much money. Like that's how they try to keep us out of things, by making them too expensive for the service industry. You know what I'm saying? And the black people in general were the service industry. So yeah, Natet felt a way about Chantel saying that she wasn't coming back to school and that Chantel was just worrying about her outfit and her clothes and all of that. And she was like, that's all you care about. And it was this moment of Natet, like, I get that I think Natet was a very sensitive person, for real. As messy and annoying as she was, like, this was a moment where I think she had some real empathy for Denicia. And Chantel is in the mindset of, that's not going to happen to me because I'm too smart for that to happen to me. Like, it was like, oh, you think you better type of situation. But yeah, Chantel said that Natet was bugging and they move on from that. So Chantel has to climb 11 fucking stairs to get to her apartment in the projects. Chantel's mom and dad are in the bedroom arguing because the neighborhood is going to shit. I'm like, y'all stay in the projects. It's just now going to shit? Okay. Now he's like, I got to get my kids out of this neighborhood. Chantel's mom says that, she got passed up for a promotion by the bitch that she trained. Child, if that didn't happen to me a whole bunch of times. Chantel's dad tells the mama, it's the same old story. They never want to promote black folks, so just forget it. And she says, I can't forget it. That would have been, an extra dollar and some change an hour. We needed that money. And he was like, well, I don't want to talk about it. We'll get by. So he's screaming at her, mad because she wants to vent about the disappointment. And he doesn't want to hear her vent about the disappointment because it makes him feel bad about not being able to provide for her. So instead of being honest about that, instead of like taking a deep breath and saying like telling her like, babe, like I understand that this is upsetting to you, but you telling me this right now is making me feel like shit, and I already feel like shit. But they don't know how to vocalize those things. So it just turns into an argument. Hold up, y'all. Okay. So yeah, y'all. Y'all, that argument was so layered. You know what I'm saying? because Chantel's listening to them argue in the other room, and I can hear the dad said he has to go to work in 30 minutes. It's like in the middle of the night and he has to go to work. He was like, I work hard. And she says, I work just as hard as you do. And then I come home, cook, clean, and make sure the boys don't kill themselves. So even with him feeling all of this pressure and all this angst, she's still handling more than him. And I feel like that is such a huge representation of what most Black women experience in family dynamics, is working their ass off too and still not getting the credit for it, but then being the main one doing house shit. And if you're not the main one doing house shit, if you got an older kid, usually only if it's the older daughter, because I don't know a lot of like boy children that actually stayed in the house and did those things. They were for some reason allowed to go and do other shit. But if you are a girl child and you're the oldest, you're expected to cook and clean as if you are another grown-ass woman in that household. And I do feel like people did too much with putting all of that responsibility on their children and not allowing their children to have like a childhood. Really, the moments that they do have a childhood, experiencing being a fucking kid, you want to stop them from doing it because you worrying about them getting hurt or in trouble. It's a lot. Hold up, because y'all know we about to get into this. So the mama says if it wasn't for Chantel, she doesn't know what she would do. One of the boys needs something and the daddy yells at her. He doesn't want to talk about it. They'll get by. She says, I'm tired of just getting by. He says if he can't get some peace, he'll go someplace else. And she tells him, we'll go someplace else. And he says, oh, it's like that. It's like, don't gaslight that lady and act like what you want her to beg you to stay when y'all in the middle of a fucking argument. And that's why these niggas run off, because they can't hang while they're there. And then they feel bad about it. And they want to be able to beat up on you. But the women start arguing back. And now the women are fucking, now the women are stressing them out. And now they can't have no peace. It's like, sir, you're not bringing peace, though. You're not bringing peace. You're not being calm. You're not being calm for her. You're not helping settle her emotions about this situation. We'll get by. That's not how you talk to somebody if you want them to be calm about something. She responds the way you respond, and now you mad. Child, now they done argued and all of that. Chantel was up, but the little boys, they stayed asleep the whole time. She says her parents work from paycheck to paycheck. She says she's going straight to college and then med school. Her life is going to be different. A lot of the girls had high hopes and were very judgmental of their parents because of what they didn't have. And then they make the same fucking mistakes. And it's because their parents, I don't think, and this is why I be wanting y'all to really think and have these conversations that y'all find uncomfortable. Because a lot of the times, if people will only really sit down and think about why they got in the situation that they got in, they will realize that they put their kids in situations to make those same things happen. Like, at the end of the day, y'all put an extreme amount of responsibility on her. You treat her like an adult. She's a teenager. The only time she gets to have fun is when she's out with her friends. We all know what it's like. The only fun you really or excitement you really get in life when you live a certain life. When your people can't afford to put you in all of these different activities. They can't afford to take trips with you, so you can have excitement about other things besides boys. The only thing you have for entertainment's sake besides your clothes and how you look in music is boys. That's the only fun that you fucking have, because they can't provide you with any other excitement. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, they create a dynamic that pushes you to be exactly like them. Girl, we're going to get into it because that daddy said some shit to her during the scene. And I was just like, well, I'm going to have to read him down and his haircut. Anyway, where was I? Okay, I already put the space. Okay, so she goes to her mom's room after her dad leaves, and she tells her mom she knows she's tired. She'll do the dishes. Don't worry about it. And then she asks if she can go to this party. And her mom says, no, I don't want you going out getting in trouble. No. And it's just like, I get it. Like, I so get it. Like, you know, it's the 90s. Anything can happen. But I really do feel like you really got to just pray. That's one of them ways that you got to pray. You have got to pray for the safety of your children. You have got to teach them to trust their discernment. Like, okay, so you're going to go out. Do you know where the exits are? You know what I'm saying? When you get there, you need to teach them how to be able to be out in the world versus trying to keep them in the house. Because keeping them in the house is not going to prepare them for when they're adults and they have to be in these spaces, or they're going to be in these spaces anyway. And it's also not fucking fair. She just finished talking about how she don't know what she would do if Chantel wasn't doing everything that she didn't have the time or energy to do. And you don't even want to let Chantel go to a damn party. Like, I remember what that was like. I remember doing everything that I was asked to do and more, and still having to fight so fucking hard to go and have a good time, or to, you know what I'm saying, go to a party, go to a dance, all because my dad was trying to keep me from growing up too fast. So you don't allow me certain experiences that are fun so I don't grow up too fast, but you traumatize me with your anger issues, and that makes me grow up fast too. When really y'all could have just been like, can you please not have sex? But if you're going to have sex, here's birth control, here are condoms. Please don't come home with a baby. And guess what? They talked to me about those things. And guess what I did when I finally had sex with a boy? Bought a whole thing of condoms. Child, we had, like, when I tell y'all, we had a Sam's size. When I first started having sex with my boyfriend, we had a Sam's Club size box of the fucking Trojan Magnum condoms. Gold pack. Very proud of it. Okay. And yeah, no, like, we're not going to be out here getting pregnant at 19. I'm in college. I have dreams and aspirations. And then as soon as we was just having sex all the time, it was like, okay, I guess I'll get on birth control. Like, so for me, I feel like if you would just keep it a buck with these girls about some of these issues, instead of having this puritanical bullshit mindset that you're going to hide all of these things from them. And then what? When they're ready to have sex as adults, then what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we have to think about these things instead of just assuming that the way our parents did them means that it was right. So the next morning, she tells us how she has to get her brothers ready for school every morning because her parents are either coming from work or going to work. So it seems like the mama and daddy work separate hours, like, you know, different times. The mama works during the day like normal, and the daddy works overnight. So that means that in the morning, she's the only person at home because the mama leaves to go to work early, and the daddy is still at work and doesn't come home until like morning, afternoon. So she has to get everything, you know, get her brothers together and make sure the house is okay. So she gets up really early in the morning. After that, we see her downstairs in the basement doing her homework and making out with Gerard, one of the little dudes from the building. And she tells him that he's looking tacky and he need to save the Jimmy hat because he don't need it. And this is when, you know, you're not having sex, but you making out. So at this point, shit is getting hot and heavy, you know? So Chantel is in history class. This is where we see that she's smart and she's intelligent. You got your white teacher teaching the kids about the Holocaust and the responsibility that America had to the victims of the Holocaust, which is such gaslighting of black people, if you ask me. Like, the continued teaching us to be sorry for other people's woes, and y'all won't even like teach that y'all should have been responsible for slavery, for Reconstruction, for all of the burning down of black towns and filling them with water and turning them into fucking lakes for y'all to build beautiful houses on top of with your parents' slave money. Or what about all the money the bank stole from black families and didn't give back to them? What about the homes and the properties that y'all took from black people from, you know, slavery up until like, you know what, 1930s, 40s, 50s even? All of the lynchings. Like, it is crazy to me because she was reading the Malcolm X and she covered up the book in class. I'm like, and this is what I love, because essentially you got to teach your own kids, whether they're in public school or private school. You have got to educate your kids on your history. Nobody's going to tell a story like, you know, the people that it's about. And that's just what it is. So Chantel covers up the book and asks why isn't, their responsibility to the black people. He says this isn't the time. She says, but when are we going to talk about something that means something to us? The teacher checks her at the end of the class for interrupting his lesson plan. And she was like, the other kids feel the same fucking way. And he was like, Chantel, don't you ever curse at me. And she was like, shit. And he said, shit, go to the principal's office. And that's another thing. But I remember being a teenager, y'all. And a lot of the times you curse and all of that because you're angry and you feel powerless. And sometimes using those words makes you feel like you have some power, or that like you can get the angst out that you're feeling, and piss people off at the same time because they feel like you shouldn't be using those words. It's an energy thing. It's a feeling of being angry and trying so badly to get that shit off. That's another reason why I curse so much. Like, it's not because I lack vocabulary. For God's sakes. I'm a scholar and a gentleman. Anyway, I am a scholar. Anyway, so the principal, she's talking to the principal, another man whose hair is just bothering me. Hold up, let me read some of y'all comments. I felt the same way when I watched this, too. Gosh darn it. And they teach us our history started at slavery. Why don't y'all ever go into who Africans were before slavery? 60s and 80s eminent domain for highways going right through black communities. Come on now, talk about it. Because they did that here in New Orleans. Claiborne, the bridge that goes all up and down Claiborne Street in New Orleans. It used to be, it's still a community, but y'all absolutely put a fucking bridge in the middle of a community that was lined with trees. They didn't do that to St. Charles though, where all the white rich people live. Same street, and the street would have looked the same way. Exactly. That's what I say when we complain about why there is no Black history courses in PWIs. You got to teach them yourselves. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. But shout out to, my PWI that I graduated from, UNO, because UNO definitely had like African American studies and like, literature classes and shit. I had a bomb ass, shout out to Dr. Bryant. Okay, bomb ass African American literature class that I was in when I was going to UNO. So the principal says that Chantel is one of his best students. Why is she always stressing her teachers out? He explains if her cussing and disruptions don't stop, he'll have to suspend her. And she's like, come on, Mr. Moore. I'm trying to think that was it. I can't remember what the principal's name was. She was like, she's trying to graduate after her junior year. And the principal doesn't think she's ready because she doesn't know how to act like a lady. And, she was like, what the fuck does being a lady got to do with a doctor? I want to help people. No one wants a doctor with an attitude like hers, he says. And she says she has the grades and he can't stop her. She's trying to get out of the projects and see something different. So her rush comes from wanting to get out of the survival mode circumstances that she's in. First of all. So she's trying to provide something for herself that her parents can't provide for her. Second of all, when you tell her she needs to act like a lady, y'all don't understand what that sounds like because y'all are men, I guess. But that doesn't make me want to not curse you out. When you tell somebody they need to act like a lady, that is very, it's not the way to implore a young woman to act a certain way. It's just not. It's really not. I think it should be more of a conversation of, okay, Chantel, you want to do this, but do you understand that when you curse at people, they feel disrespected? Do you feel disrespected? Is that what's happening? Is that why you cursing at people? You do need to understand that how you come off affects what people think you're going to be capable of. My daddy used to have these conversations with me all the time. But the way you act in public, the way you carry yourself is going to dictate how people want to help you, how people want to, give you access. It's not going to come to you easy anyway. Like, it's not going to come to you easy. So you can't look at the situation like, I'm just going to be however the fuck I want to be. You can't be like that. Because essentially you're trying to accomplish something. My daddy used to always say, you get what you got to get out of them people and then you go on about your way. What that means is if they need you to smile and do this bullshit with them while you get what you need to get from them, then that's what you do. You smile and you act like everything's okay and you get what you need to get from them and then you get the fuck out of there. So yeah, you gonna have to act like a lady, which is bullshit, because I think that more so speaks on sexuality. When men tell women to act like a lady, that normally has something to do with not acting like a hoe. And so that's why I don't think she understood when he said that what that really meant. What that meant is you're loud and abrasive. And it makes people feel like they aren't safe with you. You have to find a way to talk to people so that they understand what you're saying. Don't talk to them using these fucking rhetoric ass responses. You know what I'm saying? Jeez Louise. Let's see. That's true. A more constructive conversation with Chantel would have most likely gotten through to her. For real, because she's smart. Very smart. That's my thing too. Like I don't gotta kiss y'all ass to be successful. Forget y'all. And let me tell you something. I had to. I think the word you're looking for is condescending. Yeah, it is condescending. It is condescending, like degrading the respectability of it all. Very much respectability politics, which I have never been a fan of. Basically calling her ghetto. Yes. Calling somebody ghetto when they're from the ghetto is just like, so what the fuck you want me to do? Like that would be my response too. So what the fuck you want me to do? Okay? Not act like where I'm from. Let me try real hard to figure out how to act like somebody else. The fuck? You gotta get to people in a way that they understand. And a lot of them, it's being fake. Okay, so do you want to make it? Do you want to get out of this situation? Or what? Like, you let me know what matters to you more. Because they got a lot of real motherfuckers that ain't got shit. A pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Hence why she felt safe with Paula. And y'all notice they ain't had not a female administrator in that goddamn building. Oh my goodness, I hate that stupid crap. Like, honestly. And they're just as harmful, but they're better at hiding it. Absolutely. So we see Chantel and her friends walk home, clowning around once again. Like, just being carefree. And in all honesty, they're kids. They're still kids. They look like women, but they're kids. And they should be able to run around their neighborhood laughing and joking and having a good time. Like, bitch been in school all day. And they can't just, run around and talk and get something to eat and go to the store real quick on their way home. And we get it, y'all. Something is always happening out in the world. But I really do believe when people are supposed to die, they're supposed to die. I really do. It's sad, but I feel like you can only do so much protecting of your children until you're stifling them and not giving them a balance. And that's why they always feel the need to act a fool, because y'all don't give the kids a balance, because they need to have fun. They need to have fun. They need to be around their own peer group. They need to date. They need to have these experiences, because that's what life is. It doesn't matter if you're ready for them to have those experiences, because a lot of parents will keep information from their kids thinking that they're protecting them. And it's like, you're not really protecting them. You're just kind of sending them out into the world with blindfolds on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them have a good time. Stop forcing them, like making them feel like their home life is prison, because y'all don't want to let them do anything. Like, because to me, that's what this felt like. And when I was growing up, my daddy didn't ever want to let me do anything. It was very stifling to not be able to go to a fucking dance. You know what I'm saying? It's a dance. But I'm 12, so I shouldn't be going. Like, I'm being asked to go. Like the fuck? Anyway, child, I was a good 12 now. Don't get me wrong. That was like right before high school. I can't go to a dance right before high school. You got to sneak and buy a dress and all of that. Like, I can remember I got asked to go to the, what it was, prom at St. Aug. And prom, St. Aug had 8th graders. And I was in the 8th grade. And I was asked to go to St. Aug's prom, and I wanted to go. And my dad would not let me go. My mom bought me a dress and everything. And he found out and would not let me go. And so I ended up not going. And I was so disappointed. But in my mind, like now that I'm older, the fact that my mom went through the trouble of buying me a dress and then he found out so I couldn't go, that shit kind of annoys me now that I'm older. Because if I go through the trouble of buying her the dress, she going. We'll fight about it later. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, again, the difference, child, the difference in how people handle their relationships, child. Anyway, so when she gets home, her dad is mad because it's 7 o'clock. Now, y'all, this is 7 o'clock. It's not dark. You get out of school, what, 3:30, 4 o'clock? For 3 hours, you know, you're running back and forth down the street with your homegirls talking. You on the train. First of all, it takes a long time to get back and forth on the train as it is. Like, it felt like she used to be on that train for a long ass time. So, and she has a job. Like, let's not forget, Chantel also works a part-time job at the grocery store. And her dad just so happened to be home, walking around with his weird ass haircut, you know, with a cigar in his hand, talking about she spends too much time out in the street and she need to come home straight from school. And she was like, Dad, I was just hanging out with my friends. Let's not get ridiculous. And that's what I'm talking about. Niggas used to be having these huge overreactions to letting their girl children like live. Like, it's exhausting, honestly. He asked why she doesn't want to hang out with he and her mother. They can go to the Knicks games. And she says, okay, well, those games were pretty cool. We can go to a Knicks game. And he was like, okay, cool. I have a friend that'll get us into the garden on Saturday. And she was like, oh, this Saturday, Daddy? I got a date with Gerard this Saturday. And you know she's supposed to be going to the party, to Lavonica's house party. And her dad then says he doesn't like her hanging out with Gerard. She was like, what's wrong with Gerard? Meaning Gerard ain't involved in no stupid shit. Gerard go to school. Gerard live in a building. What's wrong with Gerard? Okay? Because in this time period, you're a good girl if you're not fucking with a drug dealer. Okay? Let's be very clear. They didn't say that, but we understand that when you hanging with a dude from the projects and it's because he live in the projects you live in and y'all go to the same school and he don't sell drugs, like, this is not a bad guy to be dating at this time, right? So when her dad says this, she was like, what's wrong with him? He was like, I don't want you seeing a guy that lives in the projects. She said, Daddy, we live in the projects. Who the fuck else am I supposed to date? And because she said, who the fuck else am I supposed to date? He slapped her and tells her if she's not careful, she'll turn out like her mother. First of all, slapping her was not the response. And let's back it up because everybody will be like, oh, she shouldn't have cursed at him. True. But I want y'all to stop being fucking stupid and understand that when you curse around your children, you then give them the example of the language they use. I don't understand how y'all don't think those things connect. You curse, so they curse. That's how that works. So smacking her because she asked you who the fuck is she supposed to date, it really should have been, who the fuck you think you talking to? That's what it should have been. It should have been, hey, I don't know who you talking to, but you doing too much. Like, you be keeping that girl up at night. That girl go to school, work, and take care of everybody in that fucking house. And you up screaming and hollering with her mama with reckless abandon. She can't sleep in the middle of the night because you cursing at the mama all night. And she says to you, aggravated in this moment, who the fuck else am I supposed to date? And he smacks her. Yo, him smacking her is wrong. Teaching your daughter it's okay for a man to hit her. And once again, you're a fucking man. You're a man. I had many experiences like this and it wasn't even that soft. If my daddy had hit me that soft, it was because he was playing. Okay? But either way, she gets mad. Who do you think you are? You can hit me. And then a comment about, if you don't be careful, you're going to be like your mother. Nigga, like my mama, who you got pregnant? Like, what's wrong with my mama? That wasn't the thing to say. Once again, daddy, putting yourself on the outside of the family dynamic. You put yourself in that position. There are like so many men I feel like that aren't really present in their homes, and then they get mad or feel away when the kids, you know, and the moms have more of a relationship. And it's like you don't even create the space for that. And you think just because you stay in the household and you help financially take care of everybody that you're doing your job, and all of your abuse is okay because you're taking care of everybody. And it's not okay, because it's causing the same issue. It's causing the same issue. You know why she'll end up like her mother? Because the only space she'll feel good is some boy making her feel good. Because she can't feel good at home. Your energy affects her energy, the mom's energy. The little boys that y'all not really raising, so all they do is aggravate the shit out of her all day instead of also being made to be responsible in the household. But nobody's there to help her. So her little brothers just run amok in a fucking palace. Shout out to Mama D. But after they have this conversation, what does she go do? After her dad slaps her and tells her she's going to end up just like her mom, she says, "You're never here anyway. It's better when you're not here." She says, "You don't care about us." The man absolutely cares about them. In his mind, him being there and suffering through taking care of them instead of being one of them niggas inside of a bottle on a corner. Because that's always what those men were thinking about. I can really just leave and never come back. Go just drink my life away. Ain't nothing else gonna happen. A lot of men decide to go and just drink their lives away. And I think that's always like an option for men when they're in these types of, you know, stressful home dynamics. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do? You know, like you don't see a way out. What do you do? And you have all these people depending on you. It's hard. Like when the dad walked away, he walked away sulkingly, almost like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm disappointing them. I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't know what to do about it. And it just makes me angry. I just don't want them to bring another child into the household. I don't want them to make their lives as hard as our lives were. But I don't know how to stop them from making that happen. Because I don't even know how to fix the situation that I'm in right now when I'm the daddy. I'm telling you, it's so much pressure I think that man probably felt and just did not know how to handle it. Tell me you hate my mama without telling me you hate my mama. Right. Mad because you had babies with her and then continue to have babies with her. That's why the boys don't take responsibility for their actions. When my dad passed, I told my mama she was a married single mother and she was confused. And when I explained that, she was like, yeah. The dad was physically and financially present, but in every other way absent. Yes, they're not present. I watched this exact thing happen to one of my best friends. Her father did it in front of me and she told her dad, "I would never pick a man like you." He never recovered from those words. You got to let him know. I'm glad she said that to him. It needed to hurt. Because y'all don't be thinking all of them fucking hits and mean ass words y'all use against y'all girl children. Y'all don't think those words hurt. You're going to end up just like your mother. Why the fuck would you say that to her? That's crazy as hell for you to talk reckless to your daughter like that. And then when she out here in the world talking reckless to everybody, you're astonished. You're surprised. I really want y'all to stop being so hypocritical as parents. Like, please stop. Stop teaching your kids how to be. And then when they act like you mad now. But she went and cried on Gerard's shoulder. The very young man that you just finished telling her you didn't want her to date, she wasn't even worrying about Gerard. Not really. But you having that moment with her pushed her into his arms. Just think if she would have actually had sex with Gerard because she was upset that you hit her. Because that would have happened. This is what a lot of people don't understand. When somebody has a lot of lows, sad moments, bad moments, unhappy moments in their households, they look to feel good. And sometimes the ways they look to feel good can be just as problematic. Drugs, alcohol, sex. But they weigh it. And the young girls are always feeling like, well, I ain't gonna get on drugs and I ain't gonna be on no drinking and all of that like that because that's not cute. but it's acceptable to have sex with boys. I mean, they're pressuring you into it at the same time as you're grappling with the fact that you may want to, just because you want to get past the, I'm not grown, I'm still a virgin. You want to get past it so you can experience it. You want to know what it feels like. Everybody makes it so taboo throughout your entire childhood that you can't help but to want it so badly, because everybody makes it so taboo. And I'm like, I wish y'all would understand that. You know what I'm saying? Unhealthy attention, yes. And it's like when your daddy is giving you unhealthy attention, it makes you seek out unhealthy attention in other people. So she meets with the homegirls, and the tech is copying Chantel's outfit while simultaneously trying to joke on her for dating Gerard. And it's like, girl, you don't even have nobody that like you, but you clowning on Chantel about Gerard? Okay, Natet, it's giving hater. And copier. It's giving like single black female. Natet absolutely gave single black female, y'all. Natet says that she's been taking her sister's birth control because she doesn't want to use condoms. She don't like the way they feel. Nobody that she knows uses them. Lavonica was like, girl, I don't know, with AIDS and HIV going around, I don't know about that. And the Ted is like, girl, because you've been watching too much 2020 and all of that. I want to, you're going to die from something, and I want to know what it feels like to have a real man inside of me. Y'all, this conversation was so ignorant. And I really feel like all of that misinformation about HIV fucked the girls up. It really did, because she literally said the only way you can catch it is if you you have intravenous drug use, or if you gay. And I ain't fucking with nobody like that, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. First of all, you don't know who you fucking with. You don't know who you fucking with. You a teenage girl. You ain't got no discernment. You don't know who you fucking with. You don't know what they do when you're not around them. First of all, always keep that in your mind. Second of all, you should have wanted to use a condom, because you can get other things besides HIV. Girl, gonorrhea. Chlamydia you can get, a pill for. But herpes, bitch, like, that's how you know they wasn't teaching y'all enough in sex ed, because you was worrying about one thing. And the funny thing about it is, you was acting like it didn't matter whether you died, and the dick could have been lame as fuck. These niggas didn't know how to fuck. So you was about to die for 10 minutes of some whack ass sex? That is insane. And I would like to tell everybody, if you have never had sex before, a condom is just fine. It's gonna feel good. If the dick is good, you're gonna feel good whether there's a condom on it or not. It was like the most ignorant shit ever. Girl, I was here for Lavonica. Lavonica was like, that's intelligence. That's intelligence, okay? Listen, apparently she hadn't seen that movie when all of them kids was having sex and doing drugs and shit. Kids, it went at the name of the movie that came out in the 90s on HBO. She hadn't seen that movie, girl. That girl had sex one time and had HIV. Anyway, Chantel asked her mom again if she can go to this party. And by this time, her mom is tired, and she been, doing her mama a lot of favors. So her mama says that she can go, because she said, I'm going to go to Natet's house. Well, yeah, you can go to Natet's house. Child, you should have been more worried about her spending time with Natet ignorant ass than going to the party. But anyway, so they go to the party, okay, and we gotta get into the choreo, okay, the choreography, okay, girl, listen, I loved it. I love how back in the day they used to always put together some choreography. Lavonica and Chantel had the bomb choreography for the party, bitch. It was all right. Listen, it was going hard. Anyway, Chantel tells Natet that she's glad that she can't find Gerard, because Natet was, pulled up her arm and was like, where's Gerard? Because she been drinking. They didn't spike the punch, okay? Just as goofy as she want to be. Then Denicia shows up and says that she and her mom got in a big fight about Imani, but I knew she would give in. It's like, it's nice to know that you manipulating your mama. It's real nice to know that. Anyway, that's so fucked up. Like, I probably would have to have a conversation with her about that. Like, so you think it's cool to, like, manipulate and take advantage of me because it's only important for you to get what you want out the situation? Fuck, I'm tired. Fuck that I've been working all day. Fuck that your pa sent you and this baby over to live with me, and I don't have as much as him. Fuck all that, right? You want to go to the party? All right. Child, my mama used to, like, my sister wasn't that young. I mean, wasn't this young. My sister was like 21 when she had a baby. But I can remember my mama saying all the time, all right now, if it's going to be my baby, we're going to go down to the courthouse and make it my baby. Child, that always gathered my sister. I swear. Okay, child, listen. Because, you know, they like to drop the kids off by the grandma and just be gone. You okay? Just come back when they want to. Anyway, so Gerard walks up mad because he came in with Chantel, but Chantel been dancing with other guys. And she was like, listen, Gerard, you don't have a chain around my fucking neck, repeating what Natet said to her. Okay, I'm like, girl, don't repeat nothing Natet tell you. Because she's just hating on you. And it's so funny because I feel like just like Natet was a hater, I feel like most dudes be haters like that too. Like they'll see their homeboy in a relationship and they'll keep clowning them about the relationship because they jealous, not because it's actually something to be made fun of. But niggas actually get caught up and, you know, let their friend make them feel a certain way. And I do think that Chantel let her dad and the Tet, you know, and I think, you know, it was just a little puppy love, a little crush. It wasn't nothing that deep from the beginning. But I think that her making fun of the relationship with Gerard, the dad saying something about Gerard kind of being a little lame. He had them bus tokens though. It made it so that that wasn't what she was looking for. When really she had more control in that. Me, I'll stay off camera for a little while. I think I'm back. I see y'all saying frozen, but I know it probably took a minute. Okay, we back? Okay, cool. So yeah, as I was saying, I feel like Chantel had more control in her relationship with Gerard than she did in her relationship with Ty. And I feel like as much as her daddy was trying to push her away from that, I really do think that it pushed her towards Ty even more, right? So she goes and dance with some other guys, and Gerard is like, whatever, forget you then. Okay. And eventually she sits back down and argues with him, and she was like, you know, just because I came with you don't mean I'm leaving with you. I'm leaving with Natet. And he was mad, talking about they came together. And it's like, dude, y'all caught the train together. Like, y'all just came there together. Like, you trying to cuff her, and that's mad annoying. Like, get off me with this. Okay. So after she finished giving him his dismissal papers and telling him she don't care about his feelings, then here come Ty. Ty been ear hustling the whole time. And he was like, damn, you was pretty hard on my man, huh? And she was like, was you listening the whole time? He was like, yeah, but if you was, you know, dealing with me, you wouldn't handle the kid like that. She was like, I would have to know who the kid is before I could do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And so they get to talking, and basically she find out that he got a 92 Jeep sitting outside, and that's all she needed to hear. Okay, that's all she needed to hear. A 92 Jeep outside. What we waiting on? So Natet comes over to Chantel's house after, right? You know, like the day after. And Chantel's dad was supposed to be sleeping. She was supposed to yell up. And she did yell up, but ain't nobody hear her. So she rings the bell. She comes upstairs. The dad mad. Oh, I'm about to be late for work. Yeah, you mad that she woke you up. Your ass in here sleep on the sofa. Okay. Like go lay your ass in the bedroom first of all. And then second of all, it was time for you to get your ass up anyway and go to work. Okay. Just ornery and angry all the time. And Chantel taking care of the boys and being the present parent while her dad gets some sleep. Okay. So she talks about how Ty got real bank. Got a Jeep. Okay, Chantel throws shade at Natet, because she was like, I appreciate you for helping me out with that, and lying and saying that I was with you, because she was like, she told her mom she was by Natet, so she was like, good looking out for that. And so Natet was like, I know you're gonna help me out one day, and she was like, get a man first, trying to play her. I'm like, girl. Okay, y'all is not really friends, girl. I ain't gonna lie. Nigga got a 92 Jeep in high school, and he was tall and nice looking and talking all shiny and shit like he was that nigga. Oh yeah, he definitely would have pulled me. He was nice looking too. So at school, Chantel gets dressed up to go on this date with Ty, but Gerard comes and asks if they can go to McDonald's, and she lies and says that she gonna meet up with Natet. He walks off, kisses her on the cheek, and then Ty pulls up in the Jeep. Fuck you think this is? We want money. That's my fucking song, y'all. Okay? Money, 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 money. I'm fiending. I'm scheming. I need money. Catch the meaning? I see him. His pockets bulging. His money, I'll indulge in. Stop. Pull over, brother. You forgot the rent's due, sucker. Yeah. Oh my god, y'all, that's my shit. I'm crying and whining. You know how I live. Yeah. Okay. We got your money. Yeah. We got 2 kids. Yeah. We want your money. That's the way we live. We want money. We want a man with money. Yeah, boy. See how ladies say I'm crazy, but if you down with a chick, you gotta pay me. That was the song, y'all. Okay. A hardworking brother that, a hardworking brother that goes to work, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Just cash your paycheck now. Cash your paycheck now. Okay? You say I'm missing love and kissing, child. I'm like Robin Givens. That's how I'm living. Yeah. Listen, y'all gonna stop putting that on Robin Givens. That's just disrespectful. That lady was out here working for her money, and y'all made her like the moniker for black gold diggers. Ain't that some bullshit? Anyway, so Ty come out, she's standing there waiting for him to come open the door, and then Gerard sees them. You know what I'm saying? And then here come the Tet. She run out, she see them. Y'all, why didn't the Tet throw her fucking books at the car? And Gerard says to Natet, I thought she was supposed to be with you. And she was like, nah. So that let me know that you weren't supposed to meet with her. So why are you throwing your books at that girl like she told you that she was going to help you with your homework and then flaked on you? Because that's what I thought. But when I listened to it, that's not what happened. You just came out and saw her jumping in a car with old boy and was mad that you wasn't jumping in a car with her. Like, yeah, papers flying everywhere and then you looking stupid. Why would you throw your books at that man's Jeep? Like, to me, that was the sign that you was hating and you was mad. To me. To me, girl. Okay? Let me put up this big one. Hold up. Give me a second. Okay. So, child, Ty takes her to this nice restaurant with steak and lobster and escargot. Bitch, she is in the 11th grade. You know this man is getting them panties, okay? Jeep, taking her to a nice restaurant. He looked good. He dressed nice. Then he take her back to his mama's apartment, and his mama is always gone because she always working, okay? So you know he was gonna get the panties. Like, it was. Listen, you know he ain't getting the panties. Like, daddy. Look, shout out to Tamar and them. Anyway, I know he getting the panties. I know he getting in the panties. Anyway, y'all. And they get back to the house, right? So this is the part that aggravates me. Just aggravates me to my spirit, y'all. So they get in the blend. She ready to have sex. She was ready to give him the panties, okay? But she says, we need a condom. He says, no, come on, baby, next time. Next time? It's only going to take this time for you to get her pregnant, stupid. She says, come on, baby, no. Like, she ain't stopped him from kissing her or nothing. But she says, no, Ty, I really want you to get a condom. He then gets mad at her and tells her, oh, you was acting so tough. Oh, was that all an act? The gaslighting. She says, I don't act for nobody. He starts kissing on her neck, and then he tells her that when he saw her at the party, she was the flyest woman there. So now you're going to flatter her. You're going to compare her to the other women, triangulation. And now she's going to get big-headed and think high of herself in this moment. And she's going to give in and allow you to have unprotected sex with her. They proceed to, dry hump and then have real sex, girl. And then she goes back home the next morning. He tried to make her stay, but she was like, no, I got to go and, take care of my little brothers before my mom gets home. Before my dad gets home from work, whatever. So I ain't like that shit. The way he pressured her into not wearing a condom. And then after he pressured her into not wearing a condom and she get pregnant, now you're going to get mad at her talking about, Chantel, baby, don't do this to me. Nigga, what? And that's what I be talking about. And I think nowadays, this type of mindset about a lack of accountability for getting a girl pregnant in the first place. She said she wanted to wear a condom. You convinced her not to. She gets pregnant. Now it's all her fault, right? Y'all do that shit now. And nowadays, y'all say shit like, I didn't want the baby. I didn't want it. Nigga, you still had unprotected sex with her. It's still your responsibility not to have unprotected sex with a woman if you don't want a baby to come from it. It's still your responsibility too, nigga. And for the longest, y'all have put all of the onus and all the responsibility onto the woman. And I am tired of y'all repeating that shit. And it's so aggravating to me because now y'all get y'all funky asses online and act like we doing something new on social media when really we repeating the same ignorant ass ideals and mindsets that y'all been saying since before the internet. Y'all always felt like it wasn't y'all responsibility to take care of children just because the woman is the one who physically has them. Y'all always felt like y'all could not have to be responsible for those children. Y'all get online now and say the shit and act like, it's something new. Girl. Anyway, so after they had sex, she broke up with, Gerard, and he was like, he don't really care about you, child. It's always some lame ass nigga mad because you moving on to a better dude, trying to make it, and then he'll act like, oh, you just a gold digger. No, it's not just about money. The nigga nice looking, got money, and takes her out, does stuff with her that you don't do, offering and showing her something that neither her parents are providing for her. Of course she was gonna break up with you for him. That don't make her wrong. Like, it doesn't. And I hate the fact that people do that to young women. Young women only have like so much shit as their advantage to have, nice life or good experiences. And anytime they find a man with some money that treats them decent and they want to be with that man, y'all act like they fucked up for that. Because they should have stayed with the nigga who was broke, who they ain't really like that, just because he liked her so much. No, that's another thing. Y'all thinking that how y'all feel about the woman should mean that's the decision that she should make. So if a man like her and she don't like him, she wrong because she don't like him. No, that's not how that work. Okay? Anyway, so he said she just wants him because he got money. And she was like, exactly. Peace. Chantel is at Ty's place. His mom comes home and he tells her his mom can't tell him nothing ever since his pops left. He threatened to run away and she chilled on him. So we didn't even see Ty's mom the whole time. And y'all will always want to blame the single mother. Do y'all hear what he just said? He said his pop split on them. And the mama was trying to make sure that she stayed on top of him. Because he went and got his ear pierced. And she was like, no, I'm mad that you did that. She tried to punish him. He threatened to run away. Now he's stronger than her and bigger than her. And telling her that she can't tell him nothing. And got a girl in his house having sex. So basically you terrorizing your mama. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you terrorizing your mama. Because you know you can overpower her. And because you know she's scared that you will leave and go out into the world. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up to me. She not even paying attention to that. For him to be like, she can't tell me nothing. That's a weird attitude to have towards your mom that's providing you this type of life. Like, you still doing good over there, Ty. Your mama look like she worked and take good care of you, and you in here talking about how I don't have to respect her ever since my dad left. Ain't that some shit? Anyway, Chantel realizes that she's pregnant. She goes to Planned Parenthood. She went over her options. She asked for information on an abortion. But because she's at a federally funded Planned Parenthood place, they're not legally, they can't give her information on the abortion, even though that's what she's asking for. Y'all, I hate these abortion laws. I hate these fucking abortion laws, bro. I hate that y'all really make it so hard for these young women to not have to go through certain things. Like the boys, they just be able to skate out of it because it ain't funny. It be the same people that be preaching about not getting abortions. Let their little funky fucking son get somebody pregnant that they don't want to get pregnant. Then it's all of a sudden I'll pay for an abortion. But then when a girl wants to do it because she wants to do it, she's wrong and it's against God and all of that shit. Y'all always like to use God as a way to shame women so you can control them. That's why I have a problem with the Bible, y'all. People use the Bible to control women all the time. It's annoying. Y'all remember on over there on Bell Collective, didn't Latrice say that Cliff will get in the bed with her with the Bible and tell her where in the Bible it say that her body belongs to him? Oh, okay. Anyway, so Chantel is hiding the pregnancy. She doesn't want to tell her parents that she's pregnant. She didn't want to tell Ty either. And then when she went to find out if she can get on public assistance, her two parents that are struggling to raise the three of them in the projects, they tell her that her parents make too much money for them to give her food stamps or public assistance. As if this is not going to take even more money away from what her parents already don't have. And that's why I said, like this system is very much made for black people not to be able to make it. Like, especially back then. We're talking about 80s, 90s. We coming straight off of Reaganomics and all of that. They definitely put certain things in place that were meant to cap and stop people in the service industry, people who they know were like black people. They knew certain jobs were only going to be for black people because of the way they structured things. And, you know, farming and service, y'all can't afford education. So anything that requires an education, we're going to pay a lot of money for because we know that mostly black people can't get those jobs. So then black people find a way, because that's what we do, to send their kids to college. Now y'all act like college don't mean shit. Every time we get to a place where we can fit inside this system in the way that they created, they move the goalposts and make it harder for us. And that's why I think it was so crazy, like, for her to go there. They already struggling. The girl ain't got cable or nothing, and they can't get public assistance. So days and weeks went by, and she did nothing. She said maybe it was a dream and it will go away. She lies and tells Natet that she got her period because Natet was asking her what happened, because they took a pregnancy test together and all of them came back positive. But for some reason, Natet's dumbass believed that because she got her period, she wasn't, pregnant. Girl, anyway. She tells Ty that she's pregnant. They went on a date. Child, they all on the, by the water on a nice date and all of this shit. She tell him she's pregnant. He gets mad at her and says, what about money at the party? Like, automatically trying to say that she was sleeping with somebody else and the baby is somebody else's. That's another thing that y'all always do. I wish y'all would get a new script to running from accountability for having unprotected sex with women. I really wish y'all would get a new script. Anyway, he's pissed off at her. If she thinks that he's gonna marry her, bitch, forget it. Not bitch, forget it. Wow. Chantel, baby, don't do this to me. He drops her off at home and speeds off before she can even make it all the way into her apartment. Okay? She went on with her plans for college, and she didn't even think about being pregnant because she thought that teaching the history class on Africa's actual size was more important than figuring out what she's gonna do with the baby that's growing inside of her body. Her teacher questioned her information on the map of Africa, which we've learned, y'all. I remember being in school and learning that about how on the maps that they would have in a lot of our school books, they would make Africa look like it was damn near the same size as America, and that's not true. Africa is actually, you could actually fit all of the continents inside of Africa for the most part. So like this was another moment where they were trying to teach us something about, you know, just the way we're taught. Like y'all even minimize the size of the continent that y'all associate us with so that y'all can make it seem like we're not on equal standing. It's the most ridiculous thing. But I love the way Chantel said that they deserve a fair and accurate account of their history depicted in the school curriculum. And I was like, ain't it funny that we still arguing about that? This is 1992, 1991, you know what I'm saying? And we're still arguing about the way white people like to rewrite history in order to, first of all, keep you from, it's not just about knowing the history. It's not just about making white people feel bad. It's also about, if you don't know that this is how they got you the first time, you'll repeat the same mistakes. I believe that a lot of the systems were put in place in a trap-like manner. And now that we can look back on it and study it, we can kind of figure out where the traps are. And because they don't want us to actually be smarter, they don't want us to actually have equal footing in this society, even to this day, you know, in 2023, you know and you feel that they still don't want black people to be on complete equal footing with white people. Okay? None of the Asian people, nobody. Y'all don't want that. So essentially, as long as they're not teaching us the truth about our history, we can't go back and look at it and assess it and figure out where they tried to trick us. Because once you figure out the traps and how they tried to trick you, you can teach your children to look out for said traps and tricks. That's why they hide everything from you in a book. That's why they make popular culture hip hop and then make them write and promote music that teaches you that being smart is stupid and lame. Like that's like if you pay like it, y'all, it's so strategic the way they have placed all of these different obstacle courses in front of black people to keep them in a certain space. And it just so happens that a lot of us are smart enough to figure out the traps and figure out how they've been fucking over us, and we keep pivoting and moving and being able to be successful even though there are all these traps set up for us, right? And it's just a matter of us continuing to learn the history and learn what they're doing now so that we can assess it. It builds your discernment. It builds you being able to recognize when these things are starting to happen. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to figure out the way that they continue to pigeonhole you and keep you down. You know what I'm saying? That's why education is so important. And I think it's so funny because like I really get mad at black people, specifically black men, when they say shit like I don't read. Like I've had way too many conversations with men I've dated and been around, and they always, I don't read. Like, why don't you read? Like that's I hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not just men, but I feel like women a lot of the times will pick up a book for entertainment value. Men won't even pick up a book for entertainment value, especially if it doesn't have something to do with sports or some shit. And they really do hide a lot of things from you in books. So make it the culture to not be smart, to not read, to not like books. That's lame. So now the culture is for you to be stupid. Then they do their part of hiding certain things from you in you know, in the education system, the places where you're supposed to be learning. They take as much value out of that as possible. It is so that you don't have information, you're not smart, you are only at the behest of the society you are in, meaning that you are then forced to go into certain jobs which are of service, which pay low amount, which keeps you in this cycle of not being able to attain this American dream that they put in front of you and act like you're going to be able to obtain. It's a trick. Bachelor's degree requires for jobs that require a high school diploma and training. Black women got that. Move bar, MBAs required. Got those. Next up, outsourcing. You can't discharge student loans. Exactly. It's so strategic and obvious, but people act like it's not real. Exactly. Y'all are on it with me. I fuck with y'all. Like the video. Let's continue on. So Ty tell Chantel when he finds her in the library that he talked to his 2-bit fucking uncle that's always cheating on his wife and getting his mistresses abortions. And they've decided that, you know, they want Chantel to get one as well. And he's offering her $500 to go somewhere and get it done. She tells him she's not letting him and his 2-bit fucking uncle make a decision for her. It's her body. It's her decision. Okay? And he just wants her to make some type of decision. But he really is trying to bully her and force her to have an abortion. And she kind of doesn't seem to want one. She didn't want to give up the baby for adoption. It seemed like she wanted to keep the baby to me. You know, ignoring the pregnancy wasn't going to do anything. Very much avoidance. Okay? He tells her that he's facing up to his responsibilities because he's been thinking about this all night and decided that this is what she should do. And I'm like, that's not facing up to your responsibilities, telling this woman that she needs to go and cut a baby out of her womb by offering her money. The fact that y'all think that is insane to me. You think you did your fucking part because you went and got the money, as if you're going to share the mental and physical load of having that procedure done to that woman, as if that's going to in any way, shape, or form affect you and your body, is insane to me. It's insane. That's not you facing your responsibilities. That's you trying to bully her into doing what's easiest for you. Stop it. And then nowadays, when women don't do these things, y'all say, well, I don't have to be a present father because I told you I didn't want no kid. Well, I guess you should have put a Jimmy hat on, motherfucker. The trick has already occurred. Gotcha, bitch. Like, y'all so stupid. Anyway, she says, I don't need that kind of help from him. Later on, he feels bad and she gets mad. He feels bad about it. And she's kind of in a daze, disillusioned, you know, just staring off into the fucking air in her head. And he gets mad at her because she makes him feel guilty, like he's to blame. It's like, dude, you are to blame and you know it. And you do feel guilty. That's why you acting like this. Every time we saw him, he was looking rougher and rougher because it was probably playing in his head how she begged him to put a condom on and he told her no. And then he raised up on her about it. Gonna call her fake and all of that. He knew he was manipulating her into having unprotected sex, and now he feels guilty about it. Talking about, you looking at me like it's my fault. It is your fault. You coerced her, and you know you did. It's not gonna be looked at like that though. Nobody's gonna look at him like the super duper fucking dickhead asshole that he is for coercing her into having unprotected sex. And then now telling her that if she don't take the money and go get rid of it, that she's not taking her responsibility in the baby that's growing inside of her. Ain't that some shit? The unfairness, oh my God. Okay? The audaciousness, oh my God. Okay? He tells her he still has the money if she wants it. He asks if she wants him to drive her to work. She says no, she just want to be by herself. He says he's going to bring the money to school the next day. He forced her to take the money. So, Chantel decided to take Natet shopping with the money. Natet is all mad and pissed off because Chantel hasn't been able to spend a lot of time with her lately. And it's because she's going through it. She's pregnant, she's hormonal, and she's going through it. She's going through the idea that all of her dreams may not actually happen the way she thought they would. She's depressed. So Natet flips out on her. You haven't been spending time with me. Like, bitch, I wish you go get a boyfriend or a girlfriend and leave Chantel alone, because this is just pathetic. Anyway, she gets mad, tells her you think you better than everybody, and runs out of the store. So Chantel says, come on, let's go shopping. They go shopping. She not supposed to tell nobody. She gets to school, tell every fucking body. Stunting on Lavonica, talking about Chantel took me shopping. She's going to be hooking me up, girl, and not you. It's like, girl, what? She going to be hooking you up and not Lavonica. What are you talking about? Like, homegirl don't have money like that to be, like, taking you shopping. I really do feel like Natet was a lesbian. But because we don't, we didn't live in a society at the time where Natet could just be a lesbian and tell her friend she was in love with her. This is the single black female personality that we get, because you can't just admit that you like your friend and you got a crush on her. Okay? So anyway, Everybody now finds out because Natet tells Lavonica that Chantel got the money from Ty. Now Ty is pissed off, running around the school looking for her. Okay? Chantel starts buying bigger versions of all her clothes to hide her pregnancy from her parents. Okay, and she's also throwing away food, which really pissed me off because I'm like, y'all struggling and you in there throwing away food so you can hide your pregnancy. Like y'all got money to throw away food? Girl. Ty bust into the girl's bathroom looking for her and said she been running for him for long enough. And she needs to make a decision. At this point, it's too late for her to go down to the clinic. Chantel starts, I told you she threw away food and was, assuming her mom would think she was a pig and not pregnant. I'm like, girl, seriously? So it's winter. Natet is crying about Chantel acting funny with her again and not talking to her. Chantel tells Natet it's all in her head. She's getting bigger. She's catching a train and we see her struggling. Like she used to easily be walking and running through the streets. And now she can barely make it up the stairs to go get on the I.R.T, girl. Okay? So we see Chantel, I guess, now we in the springtime. She done went through this whole pregnancy. I guess she and Ty haven't been talking or they've been going up and down. But we see her running behind him up the stairs to his apartment. He's angry with her, still mad because she took that money and went shopping with it. And she says that I was just scared, Ty. I'm sorry. Like, really, she wants the dick because she's horny and she's pregnant. Okay, usually around this time in the pregnancy, I think she was 6.5 months pregnant, you get horny. So I think she was horny and she wanted the dick. And you always want the dick of the person whose baby's inside of you. That's just how this goes a lot of the time. And he's weak for the puss. So, of course, all she had to do was tell him she was sorry a whole bunch of times. And then they start making out and they about to have sex, right? When she starts taking off her clothes, he sees how big she is. And, it made her feel self-conscious. And, he was just like, she's like, whatever, child. They still ended up having sex. And then after they have sex, she goes into premature labor at 6.5 months pregnant. And when I tell y'all, this girl acted her ass off, the screams, I had to fast forward through the shit. I said, I can't listen to this bitch scream like this all this time. Y'all, Ty didn't know what to do. Okay? He did not know what to do. He panicked. She panicked. Where is the book? You read the book. Nigga, I can't read the book. What we gonna do? He wanted to call an ambulance. She's so worried about her parents and everybody finding out. I wonder why. When your parents are so strict like that, it makes you feel like you can't make mistakes and your mistakes are going to be like life or death. I remember what this felt like when I was younger because my dad used to make me feel like that. So I would have never got pregnant, child. But I was scared a lot of the times and grew up being scared to be honest about certain things or to talk about certain things because I had a parent who would fly off the handle on me. And I feel like at the end of the day, you should have expectations of your children and let them know what you expect of them, like not getting pregnant as a teenager. But I also don't feel like they should ever be so scared to tell you that they would throw their baby in a lake or that they would put their baby in a trash can. And so, she goes through this very painful premature labor. Eventually, they got Paula on the phone, and Paula was the lady down from the clinic. Shout out to the women like Paula, who was actually laying in the bed with her man acting like she just finished getting some dick, okay? And they call and she talks them through the situation, child. It was so on point when Ty was like, what's she gonna tell me? He didn't want to take the phone. And she was like, take the phone. Like, that was such a real moment, yo. Niggas really be stupid like that. I'm barely holding my arm up because I'm in so much pain. And you asking me what she gonna tell you if you don't take this fucking phone? Oh my God, y'all. I can't tell y'all how many times I've had that happen with me and Lyric where I'm like, he'll take the phone and he won't talk to me about why I'm asking him to take the phone. If you don't take this damn phone, I'm sorry, y'all. That was triggering. Anyway, girl, when I heard her say she want her mama, you knew it was painful. So Paula and her old man get up and go down there to Chantel's house because back in the 90s, I guess you couldn't get a fucking ambulance to come to that neighborhood. The baby came and she tells Ty to put the baby in a trash bag and take it outside. And that's when we saw Ty walk into the trash can with the baby, and the little football hit the baby, and then he went back and got the baby. So when Paula and her old man come, they look for the baby. They went out there. The police was out there, but the baby was gone. They get back to the apartment, and Ty is sitting there holding the baby, and he tells Chantel he can't do it. Now let me tell y'all something. I don't think we live in a society as much anymore where men are like Ty. They start out being stupid and fucked up, but eventually they quickly, figure out what they supposed to do, and they do what they supposed to do, right? Because that's what happened with Ty. Ty was an asshole throughout all of this. But what ended up happening? They broke up. He was dating another girl. She was going on some dates. She went to community college, and he was still there helping her take care of the baby. He actually came, and she said that the baby had been sick because the baby was premature. So she ended up, the baby had a lot of hospital bills. So he ended up, I'm sorry, y'all, heard something. He ended up selling his truck. He sold his Jeep so that he could pay for the hospital bills for the baby. And then we saw him come, and he was holding a baby and all of that. And, she was like, we getting our shit together. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like essentially their life was starting off a lot better than her parents' life, just off rip. Don't have no more children. The fact that they weren't together anymore, I thought was a good sign as well, because it would have been your parents. Y'all trying to stay together because y'all had kids, and then y'all fight and argue in the house because y'all can't stand each other, but y'all don't feel like y'all can leave each other. Okay? Yeah, like you would have been your mama and your daddy, but y'all decide not to be in a relationship but still take care of y'all baby together. Ideal situation to me. And I appreciated that. That Ty really did love and care about the baby. And, we saw that from him in the movie. Most of the time, these niggas don't care about their kids. They don't care. They're not selling their car for hospital bills. They're not even going to put the baby on the hospital. I just saw a video with the lady talking about she went and filed for divorce because she just had the baby in the NICU. The husband was supposed to put her kids in camp, and he didn't put the kids in camp. She come in there, and that nigga sleeping. And she said, I haven't even been to see my baby at the NICU because she had been asleep. Ooh, this weather, girl. I'm about to get off here in a minute. She had been doing everything, and she asked him to do this one thing, and he in there sleep. And he didn't take the kids to camp, wasting all her fucking money. So she said she was going to file for divorce from his ass. Okay? Yeah, it's definitely feeling like y'all don't ever put forth enough effort when it comes to these kids. Y'all really do leave a lot of the responsibility on the women, and you feel comfortable to do that. And that shows itself in several different ways. Either by not being emotionally, mentally, spiritually present in the household, not being physically or financially present, but a lot of y'all find a way to not be fully present and to run from your responsibilities. And it's very annoying. Just saying, it's very annoying. So this was absolutely a happily ever after. Because if Ty wasn't shit, I don't think it would have been as easy for her. She did say that they were all still living in a project with her parents. It's been tough. Okay? Storming here in Florida too. Yes, it is. Wait, who? I missed it. Wait, hold up. What about Peaches? I missed it. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Anyway, that thunder, I thought it was a sound effect. No. Who is Peaches, y'all? What are y'all talking about? Oh, is that the girl? Oh, that's the girl name? That's the girl name? Oh, okay. I don't even know who that is. I just saw the post. I don't even know who that is, y'all. Y'all know I don't be knowing people. But I was like, child, at least she was leaving, child. Just recently, a girl left her baby in the trash in the hospital. Child, why you gonna leave the baby in the trash in the hospital? It's in the hospital. Just leave it in the hospital. Oh my God, y'all disgusting. But anyway, y'all, that was just another girl on the I.R.T. Okay? I hope y'all enjoyed it. This was a good movie, though. It's always a good movie. This always plays in my household. I'm glad Chantel, was getting on her shit. And honestly, I do feel like the experience of having a baby will probably mature her to the level that she needed to be at. And, you know, because she had that baby in her junior year, she probably went on to community college and didn't finish her senior year anyway. Did what she wanted to do anyway. And the baby probably made her grow up. But anyway, y'all, I thought I was going to the gym, but now I don't feel like it. So we gonna see. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Okay, got you. She was trolling. She ain't really leave him. Oh, okay. I ain't no girl. Y'all not on no people. Exactly. Scaring your children about sex isn't helpful, only harmful. Exactly. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope they not still eating my ass alive in my last life. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.